have 7:30, so I'll call the meeting to order. And if Mike can vote for Tiffany. Tiffany has COVID.
Oh, no.
So she is not happy camper today. First up is Navigator Drive, Navigator Road.
It's not working.
It's not.
Well,
What do you want, the agenda or the?
I want to get into whatever this we're doing here.
Let me see if I can find where mine is. Oh,
Good
can
evening.
you get to this page?
I thought I was.
Because if you can find, click the file one. Oh, that, I saw it flash. Now click materials.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
We're ready now.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Katie Weiss. I'm with Bedford Design Consultants. We're here on behalf of the applicant, Enterprise Rent-A-Car of Boston. We have two representatives here with us tonight, Becky Marcinkovich and Doug Valeri. They're here to answer any questions you might have about the application. Let's start with the first page. This is the town GIS. The subject parcel is located on the corner of George Ave and Navigator Road, which is right off of Harvey Road and right by the Manchester Airport and the town line for Manchester. On the next page
Oh, you have to
is an
scroll.
aerial showing the site as it exists today. This is a site plan from
32.
the year 2000. In the top right corner, there is the existing office building. Then you can see to the left is the very large parking lot where their fleet is parked. And then in the very bottom, in the point, is where the detention pond is, and that is a wetland now. It's a man-made wetland.
Katie, if you want, there should be a little remote there.
Oh, that I can do myself?
Yeah, if you just hold down the top button.
The top button goes to the next slide.
You can use it like as a pointer.
Oh, it's a pointer.
The very top button.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
There you go.
Oh,
Yep.
whoa, okay. Wow, all right. So right here is the wetland at the bottom of the site, which is the detention pond. If we move to the next slide and zoom out a bit, this is the existing conditions plan from the year 2000. You can see we've now kind of flipped where we are. Up here, this is Navigator Road. Over here is George Ave, so we've twisted 90 degrees. So this is that corner piece where the wetland is now, but you can see here in the 2000 plan that there is no wetland on the site. However, there is a culvert right here and pavement that runs through the site in this one area. And right down here, there's a catch basin that leaves the site and goes into the drainage system on Perimeter Road. The next slide, please. Here is the site plan from the year 2000. It's everything as it exists today. We have the existing building, the large parking area, and then here you can see the drainage pond that was proposed. There are three stormwater areas entering the pond. We have a head wall here that for this stormwater, and we have a head wall here for this stormwater, and then a swale that runs along the front of the property. All of the stormwater on the site is caught in catch basins and all ends up down at the bottom there into the existing detention pond. Have the next, please. So here is what we're proposing. We're keeping the existing building, and in the bottom left corner, right here, we're proposing an auto inspection building. In this building, they will be maintaining their fleet. So they'll be doing inspections, oil changes, and things like that. There will be no body work or paint done in the shop at all. So what we're doing is basically just redoing this area here and connecting into the existing drainage system, which will go to the pond that's existing. Could have the next page, please. So here is the new building in that bottom left corner. That red line is the area we're disturbing. So we've got the pavement all along here. We've got an addition of an entrance. We have an exit here, and then here is the building. The blue areas are temporary erosion control measures. So the longer lines are silt fence, and then little squares, like here and here, and the two over here, are sediment inlet filter baskets for the catch basins. So right now, as I mentioned before, all of the water flows to this catch basin here and this one right here. So those are existing. We are proposing 2 new catch basins here that will catch all of the water from this area and then bring it over and connect into here. And then the roof water is going to all be caught and put right here in a grass bioretention area, which will then attach to this drain manhole, which connects over to this existing area here. Next slide, please. This is the pond in the bottom right corner. It is 0.2 acres, and it is now a wetland. Based on Tom Sokolowski was our wetland scientist. You can see right here is one of the head walls. Here's the other head wall where water is coming into the pond, and you can kind of see the swale that comes down here. We are proposing in this section an area for an exit and a small gatehouse to make sure the cars stay safe. And then we have some silt fence as well. Next slide, please. Up here is the existing building. They're doing a little bit of renovation to the building. They're going to be changing some doors, adding windows and things. So this pretty much just shows what's happening up here. They're adding a vestibule to the front, and they're rearranging what's happening in the sidewalk here for the accessible parking. They're going to remove this sidewalk back to grass and remove this sidewalk back to grass, and then add a door right here so there's a little bit of pavement. We do show the catch basins that are in the area will be properly erosion controlled, as well as some silt fence here. Next slide, please. So if we zoom in a little bit, this is a letter from the wetland scientist, basically stating that this is a man-made wetland. He went back and looked at aerial photos from the 90s, and based on the plans that from the year 2000, that this is a man-made wetland, and his official ruling is there. There's also more information on the functions and values of the wetlands if you care to read it. I think this letter is going to be used for multiple things, which is why it's kind of a multi-stage type of letter. So if you have any questions, I feel free to ask.
So what is your intention with the wetland? You're filling it in?
Nope, we're not doing anything.
How many parking spaces are you giving up in order to have this building?
I think there were originally like 500 something, and now there's 200 something. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's definitely less than there was before.
But the impervious surface will stay about the same?
Yes.
You're just trading?
Yes, it's off by a very little bit, but yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, and I tried to add in some drainage treatment with the bioretention area so that we were treating some of the water on the site.
I managed to find some of your landscaping, but
Sure.
I don't find the list of plants.
It should be right on the landscaping sheet. It says plant schedule
the bottom,
on the
I'm not.
on the right.
It's a short list.
It's short. Okay, got it.
Yep. Right now, I
So-
tried to pick plants that were existing on the site, so it would match.
But depending on where you're putting them, Nissa sylvatica wants wet feet. Cercis really is not native to here, so I don't know how long it's going to last.
Okay.
And the rest are, fine. But I don't know where the Nissa is, which is NS. I can't
I can grab the plant and look.
find that. Well, I'm not sure they're, oh, wait a minute, there they are. Well, it's on the corner, I would check with your landscaping people to find out what it's a wetland plant,
Okay.
so.
I will write that down.
Did you see anything else? Did you see anything else, Susan?
No, I don't think so.
I would say you have a lot of pavement,
Yes.
and it seems definitely like overkill. Is there any chance that you'd be able to reduce that, like making a larger median strip? Because each of those sections look like they're about twice as wide as they need to be to facilitate 2 rows of parking.
It's not rows of parking. It's they're going to be packing the cars in kind of, I won't say like sardines, but in rows right next to each other. So there won't be head-in parking like a normal parking lot. So they'll all be just right next to each other and then right next to each other. So kind of just packed all in without any rows to get in and out.
So just out of curiosity, how many cars do you expect to have there most of the time? Because of you know, people's travel plans and
That'd be
rental
a
plans.
question for the applicant. Hold on.
I'm mostly just curious.
Doug Valeri with Enterprise. The main function of this is for vehicles to come in, they get plated, and they go out to rental. So if they're sitting here, we're not making money. So the goal is to get them all into rental. So
Yeah.
quick turnaround.
Yeah,
But this is the landing spot for that.
okay.
But you would have enough cars to fill all that pavement
Yeah, we have,
at one time?
yeah, yes.
Is this the original, the site that's been here for a while?
Yes, since 2000. Yeah.
So are you saying you're filling them now, or if you're filling them now and you take a couple hundred away, then how does that work?
Well, this site right now isn't being used for intake.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So now it will be. So it'll have a different flow to it.
I feel like this was the plan for a long time, to eventually move to this, wasn't it?
No, this
wasn't
just
it?
came about, we rent this land from the city, and we weighed buying a facility or trying to make this one work. So this was a recent plan as of early 2023.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any issues?
Whose is this then?
Does anybody else have anything that they want Marge to mark?
Well,
Or do you think that's,
we have
This
a
is,
wetland permit. Who's this for?
that's not there.
Who's it for?
Next one. The next one.
That's for the next one.
Oh, good if it said that on the front.
It does.
Where?
anything?
Oh, okay.
In the
Oh,
fine
my
print.
God. All right. All right, so do we have comments?
I got my questions answered.
Anybody? So I guess we have no comment.
Okay.
Did
All
you
right.
want to include Deb's comment about double checking and putting a wetland plant where it might not be happy?
Okay.
That's the,
Which one?
this
Nisia?
is Sylvatica, they call it Tupelo, it's like, well, there's all kinds of common names.
Whoops. Okay, that's it.
Okay. All right.
Great.
All set. All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Katie?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, Burton, 58 Wentworth.
Oh, all right, let's start trying to find the next one. Close current tab only.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Jason Lopez, Keach Nordstrom Associates. Here for a project on Burton
Put on
Drive.
PDF.
In
This one, the file one,
Wentworth.
and then go up.
Forgot the name of the road.
No?
This is, I was here on January 9th, gave an overview of the project. So this is the site, they're proposing a 50,900 square foot facility for the Drug Enforcement Agency, for the Northern New England Drug Lab, and also for the National Fingerprint Database. So we've progressed with the plans. We're actually, this Friday is supposed to be submission of 100% submittal for DEA review. We have gone through first design review with planning staff. So we're in process. The town planning process is lagging behind the DEA process, but hopefully they'll catch up soon. So we do have the wetlands permit that has been submitted at this point. So that's been submitted. The commission should have the 4 copies.
We have one.
Oh, okay, one. Copy to review, make comment to both planning board, and should you have comment to DES. It has been up there for a little bit, so the review process, talking to Lou Curley, the wetland scientist that prepared it, it's probably underway, is his thought, given the time that's passed. So we've got 16,475 square feet of wetland impact out there. It's being filled for multiple purposes, mostly parking and building. With that, we did the wildlife assessment out there. That area is known for the northern New England cottontail rabbit. We've met with Fish and Game. There is a plan that's been put together, and that involves, Fish and Game is actually, there's about a there's a fee due, something that was negotiated between the town of Londonderry and New Hampshire Fish and Game on a 2 cents per square foot for the area being disturbed per the AOT permit. So that will require a check for $4,212 to be sent to New Hampshire Fish and Game. They will go out, secure a perimeter around the site, and trap the rabbits to relocate them. And then during the process, construction process, if any are found, contractors needs to notify them to come out and, trap further rabbits that may be found during construction. So that process has been worked out between GZA and Fish and Game. They have a number of other notes. We have turtles in the area, so your typical notes about no sumps and catch basins, and notification protocol that needs to be listed on the plans. There's also snakes in the area. The green snake was listed, but was determined no habitat present on the site. But it'll have all your erosion control products specified without the monofilament for entanglement. So we have a fair amount of notes that need to be put onto the, plan cover sheet, and you can see up on the screen, we've got to have the photo identification of each of the animals, so the contractor understands what's out there and who to call and who to contact and photos to take and all that protocol. So, on, I forget when it was, just a couple, oh, that's not dated. We had our preliminary meeting with wetlands, pre-application meeting with NHDES Wetlands Bureau. During that, it was determined that this project it's over 10,000 square feet, so we have mitigation requirements. And the option that was determined reasonable for this project was paying into the ARMA fund. And that fee payment into the ARM fund is $119,953. So you're sitting right there at $120,000 payment into the ARM fund. So with that, I do have, I've got all the plans here. I know I've been through some of the project details. But instead of rehashing details, I'll take more direct questions from commission members.
Specific to the
Yeah.
wetlands,
Yeah.
what's exactly going on with that?
Oh, okay. Well, I talk a little easy with my hands, so I'll put the board up. So we've got,
Is that in this plan somewhere?
yep.
Do you know what page?
No.
Okay,
it
it's not
was a
many, I can
separate-
scroll.
Yeah, it's a separate file.
Maybe we made it, do we have it?
There's a grading one and a site plan.
Ancient eyes.
So the larger, well, first, we had the wetlands all delineated. The delineation was done by Chris Danforth, and we have Lou Curley, wetland scientist, actually putting together the application. So none of the wetlands map out to larger than a half acre, so there's no buffers that apply to any of the pockets of wetlands. We do have in the plan set, each pocket is labeled with the areas to, confirm they're under the half acre. The largest area of wetland land impact is two pockets. We've got 6,790 square feet for the building, and then another pocket that's 2,545 square feet. Then we have 4 areas here that are impacted due to the front parking lot and the access aisle to get to the loading docks. 1,100 square feet, 2,700 square feet, a little over 1,000, 315, and 525. And then we have some areas that are impacted going along the fence line. Got to have a secure perimeter around that. So in order to adjust the grades, they have certain clearances, requirements for under the fence. We've got to make a flat surface going through this area width on both sides that can have security go around, and also maintenance of control of vegetation. So we have some areas here that are, 172, 309, 921 square feet. So, we've got the layout of the parking was established, number of spaces was established by the DEA design criteria. They needed 94 spaces for their use and the number of staff they'll have on site. And they had certain criteria about the placement of the parking being visible from the front corner of the building from the security office. They wanted more parking coming up along the side of the building. The original plan was to have all parking up here, and we were able to kind of convince them in the minimization as much as we could to relocate a portion of the parking off to the side. They were acceptable, they accepted that with the installation of extra cameras and so forth. So you've got primary impacts are due to the parking, access to the building, and then the building itself. Then you do have that impact from the security fencing. So that's kind of the layout and how we got to the areas of impacts.
Mike, could you put up our GIS aerial imagery of that parcel,
Sure.
please? What I'd like to do is get a feel for what's around it.
Yep. So you've got a small, to the northeast, that's a small commercial building, I think Precision, I forget what it is, Precision Equipment, it might be the name of it. To the south of the site is a mobility company that I believe modifies vehicles. Across the street, another commercial industrial building. Then you got Stonyfield to the northwest. That's where you.
Oh,
you know,
sure.
yeah.
Who owns the large wooded area on the east side of,
This area right here?
Oh, Nash. They own most of the lots in that area.
yeah, keep going, Mike. Work
Further
your way-
east?
I'll work your way around, yeah. And up, and then in between, who's that?
The field, big field.
Manchester. Right north of that one. Yeah. Manchester. And then north of your property is, no, down,
corner.
in between,
This one?
yeah.
No, that's our property.
It's two sites.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry,
two-
you're combining,
two
yeah,
lots, yeah,
sorry, right,
combined.
right. Could you zoom out a little bit now, Mike? I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way to preserve a corridor between the Little Coas Swamp and through the Nash property. I mean, Lord knows what will become of that, but,
Yeah, so the DEA was, the process, how they got to this site, they put out a request for proposal for a bunch of developers in the area and across the country, really. The owner of this project is Illinois, I believe, and the development team is from Minnesota. So what they were looking for is something in northern New England, proximity to the airport for getting in and out of the site. They needed, security, police, it needed to be a more sophisticated town. But the highest priority for them was the access to the airport. So this site, there was another site over in Bedford across the river that they were looking at. This one won out. So with that, they, GSA put in on, the proposal for this site, and then they just take their criteria of what they're looking for, the size of the building and number of spaces, and site it. And this is it.
When are you putting the fencing up?
The fencing will need to go up earlier in the process. Now, there'll be, depending on lead times, and there'll be construction fencing up
Early.
early, right at the
Well, I'm
beginning.
just wondering about the animals. I mean, you can go out and try to trap rabbits. I want to know what Fish and Game thinks their percentage of success is going to be, because everything we're hearing is really, unfortunately, negative for the,
Right.
Yeah,
mainly cottontail.
I don't know. I wasn't part of that conversation.
So if they get shut in, people will look out for them and report them to the powers that be.
Excuse me. Well, that's part of the process with the contractors on site.
Yeah.
And the education of them.
Yeah.
Of the contractors, so they know what they're looking for and
Yeah.
make the necessary calls. With this project, because of what it is, there will be full-time, kind of like a clerk of the works on site.
Good.
This isn't gonna be, because of the project, This isn't gonna be like your typical, construction site that's kind of half open and people flying in and out. The security protocol,
Sure.
even during construction, is gonna be
So
much more consistent.
there is something under the fence? I mean, was there,
So the fence has got a 3-inch gap underneath, so
so snakes could slither through if they chose
the
to?
the snakes would, yeah, the rabbits probably will too.
They could too,
you know,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
with the 3 inches under there.
Okay, so
But-
that's good.
Yeah, but for security purposes, their criteria in the contract is to provide 3 inches from ground surface to the bottom of the fence. And the fence that they're putting in, it's a real tight weave, metal wire. It's anti-climb, and then the tops will have spikes. You're gonna see through it okay. From what I've seen from images, you can see through it. The backside near the loading dock is gonna have, it's what they call shutters on it, and you can't see through it. And that's for security purposes around the loading dock where they're bringing stuff in and out. But the rest of but even that fencing will be up 3 inches.
Okay, well,
But it's
that's
gonna be like a
very
solid.
good, I think. I think that will accommodate, well, maybe not big Blandings, but, mostly
Oh.
everybody else.
Yeah, but early on before they can start construction and tree clearing and all that, Fish and Game's required to go out and run their operation.
Yeah. Good.
And then from there, construction fencing will go up, if not the security fencing. But as they start getting to the interior of the building and constructing rooms, the security fencing will be at least in process.
Well, hopefully, the rabbits they trap here, they can take over to Stonyfield.
Right, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's close by and it's a known colony,
Exactly.
but I don't know how competitive they are. Will they
I
run the
don't know
strangers
either.
out, or
I don't know.
guess we'll
But if
find out.
the transplanting that they've done from Roger Williams into the area over by the seacoast is any indication, they don't like getting moved.
Yeah,
So,
But I-
I'm not very hopeful that even if we trap them, that they'll survive.
yeah, I was
the new
hoping that
neighborhood.
where the ones on this property are probably related
They
to the ones on
probably are.
Stonyfield, that they might be able to mingle better, because they're,
It may not be
Their
just
family.
that, it may be more accessibility to food,
Yeah.
comfort level of their habitat.
So here's the fence, 3 inches of airspace, what's underneath?
Natural ground. So the posts are all put into the ground with concrete piers. So the panels are supposed to be crash rated. So the posts, you get your structural capacity through the foundation posts and the fence posts, and then your panels stretch between. And they'll have a certain level of crash rating on those. So it should be natural ground underneath, but it still needs to be, because these panels, the fence panels are rectangular, these are not rackable in design, so we can't, adjust with the grade.
Yeah.
The panels need to be cut to grade, so we need to get sections of the ground under it flat, so they can install as many as possible, horizontal, without doing custom panels at angles. So that's the reason for going around some of the wetland impacts around the fence areas. We gotta grade it to the point of level.
Right, and you said that was gonna be a 6 foot wide?
About 8 foot wide, about 4 feet on each side of the fence.
And then that'll be mowed,
Yeah, they're gonna have to maintain it, keep woody vegetation down. I don't know the full plan, but I think security cameras on the corner of the fences and shooting down the lines.
so I'm curious, why the, I guess the northern fence is where it is. If we go back to the plan,
Over this side here?
yeah, right.
Yeah, because the town of Londonderry, the Burton Road drainage, all drains to a detention pond, and this is an easement. So access needs to be provided to Londonderry DPW for maintenance if they choose, when they choose to do it.
Right.
And for them to maintain it and get equipment in, they would have to be inside the secured perimeter. So the idea is to keep the fence over this way, to keep the area that DPW needs to access outside of the secure perimeter. And there's also a little telephone easement here, same thing, some equipment. So any of those individuals that need to be on site to maintain that stuff are outside of the secure perimeter and don't need security, background checks and supervision while on site.
What I'm trying to figure out is, you're gonna have television cameras on an 8-foot corridor, but then you got a woods that takes you right up to the building or close to the building. And if you're looking for people, surreptitiously entering, why not, maybe take out a little more of the wood, clear whatever area you think you need just to the west of the building. And then, run the fence down that way, save some money on building fences. And
They wanted the fence right out on Burton. They wanted it right along that property line there, but after I shared the drainage easement and access, they decided to pull it back. That, we went back and forth about that a little bit. They weren't interested to have the fence much closer to the building. They
No
wanted it.
fence on the southern perimeter, is it just,
Oh, yeah, it goes
Oh,
all the way
yeah,
around.
all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes all
I
the way
just
out to
don't
the,
I
it's
just-
all the way down to the road.
There are no trees on the site, it's all
oh, I'm on the wrong, I'm not on a good plan.
two-year-old, three-year-old growth.
Yeah, yeah. But you don't have a plan to manage the vegetation between the fence
dash.
and the building, right?
Oh, yeah, no, I missed that.
Um,
I was getting these,
For our design,
some of this.
no, it's gonna be maintained.
Remember this
How their
last time.
security protocol will handle that over time, I don't know. I know that they didn't want any, we had to eliminate all trees and tall shrubs around the parking lot and within the parking area, for sightline visibility. So that, having eliminated some of the trees around the parking lot and then having the trees over in that area, I was scratching my head. I couldn't make sense of it, but for some reason, no here, okay there. I don't know the reason. We were just told, no, okay. And that was it.
You mentioned that you have some notes that are on the plan regarding your negotiations with Fish and Game, like, no monofilament line and
Yep.
things like that. Are they, I didn't see those.
We've got the notes, we're finishing up, we're getting in all the Fish and Game comments, alteration of terrain comments, and the staff comments wrapped up, and for the 100% submittal that's due this Friday.
So I didn't miss it. It's not there yet.
I would have to look, some of them might be, but some, like the no sumps, I know that's in there because I knew that was coming right from the beginning of the design, so I didn't include them. But some of the other notes, about the monofilament, that may or may not be on there. I'd have to look at the detail and see. But some of them need to be added still, yes.
You said that you coordinate a lot of this with New Hampshire Fish and Game. This is a bunch of federal money behind this project. Have you coordinated with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service?
No, no, I don't believe that was done through, I don't believe that was done through GZA's review. No.
It
don't know.
should be if there's a lot of federal money involved on it, yes.
I will have to look into that.
Yep. They have different
Oh,
criteria
yeah.
than. New
Yeah,
Hampshire.
I mean, a lot of the New Hampshire state endangered species are not on the federal list, and the federal's got a few that are not on New Hampshire's, yes. Yeah. I'll have to check with them on that. So that will come up anyways as one of the criteria for the development of the SWIP, the notice of intent for general construction permit.
So, comments on the dredge and fill? What was it, U.S. Wildlife?
U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
And incorporate all notes from Fish and Game, New Hampshire Fish and Game recommendations onto the plan.
Anything else?
Then I would like to add a comment that they consult with the DEA about moving the western fence line farther to the east. They could get out of the northwest wetland by doing that and, create a little more surviving habitat.
Okay,
So
the fence, move the
move the
fence.
western fence line farther to the east. I take their point about wanting it right on the road is so that we don't give anybody entree. But once you've abandoned going by the road, then what the hell?
Yep. This is an interesting project, I'll say
Yeah,
that.
no doubt.
It's
It
been very interesting in the communication lines. Gives you a little insight in how things happen and wonder how things happen.
How does it happen that it happens?
Anything else? Good.
I just, but US Fish and Wildlife, I'm not seeing that report in their thing, so I'll follow up on that.
All right. I think we're good.
That it?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much.
Quick thing on old business, the Musquash Trails. Last word I had, they were halfway through doing the new one, attaching to Litchfield. And the section that they built is between Trivial Pursuit and a trail in Litchfield called Roll the Dice. And they were coming up with a name, and they thought, connecting to Roll the Dice and all the animal names in Musquash, they were suggesting the name Snake Eyes for that trail, which I thought was pretty clever.
I like that.
So I don't have a problem with it, does anyone? But, yeah, I don't know, they must stay awake at night thinking of these things. And then, he was talking about creating a deck-type bridge or something for the landing. And he said there's like two options that do 8-foot sections and rest them on concrete blocks so we can adjust it if it starts flooding and move it if necessary. And they can do two different options. They could do it 2-foot wide decking or 2-foot wide planks. The decking, they estimate about $1,300 for the project, and the planks would be about $900.
I think we have to be really specific about and careful about putting the concrete in, because if it is wet, and that's why we're doing it, there may be a problem with the wetlands permit. If we have to, you can't put those structures in a wet area. And I know we ran into that when we worked over at, yeah.
Kendall Pond?
No, the wetback access into the, off the,
By the farm on High Range, I mean?
no, I mean, the bridge that was, the bridge that's coming down, but the Beaver Bridge. That
Oh,
bridge.
right. The cul-de-sac.
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't we think of the name?
So that was all part of the package. I think we had to put something in because we did put some support. Or there are ways of doing it, but it might be wider than they want, and cost more because it's wider. So I think that has to be really checked out before we give them permission to just start putting things in.
Right.
I don't know,
So when you say they, you're talking about the...
bicycle people.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like they want to do it.
Yeah, they're
And of
willing to
course
do
we-
the
you
work
know, I
if we
don't-
buy the material.
It seems that things are somewhat flexible, have been handled in a somewhat flexible fashion over the years.
I mean, on the trails?
Yeah. And I just want to make sure that we do it right, or as close to right. We should do it right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it would require a dredge and fill permit to put it in. But it's gonna be a very
Minimal.
minimal one.
But
Right.
there's cost to that these days.
Of course there is.
As far as the slats or planks in general, the plank boardwalks seem to hold up better.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah,
The decking?
fewer screws and stuff. Because I was concerned that riding a bike over the planks, where they're going in the direction of the planks, the
that's-
wheels
yeah.
would
They'll
go
need to
through the
keep- they'll
crack.
need to be tight.
Yeah. But there's an awful lot of plank ones already out there, so they seem to be
There's-
doing.
Both styles are out there.
So we'll have to put it on hold until we figure out what we need to do with the wetland. Fair enough. And then,
I have follow-up on that, the signs, and my job that I did not do the Facebook job, but my life's been crazy, but I will do that right away. And Mike, you were gonna give me the picture of the sign and some verbiage, so I could share that with the historic.
Yeah, did I thought I said, did
I
I send it to
didn't,
you?
in my life, I mean, I've had so much stuff going on. I know that, I don't think I got it.
I did.
I got marked.
You got it, right?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
think
remember seeing it.
I think I had
Okay,
a
well,
copy of it.
I'll look
It was a
again.
while ago,
Yeah, well, less than 2 weeks. It would have been no more than 2
Yeah.
weeks.
probably.
Mark
Yeah.
pointed out that those signs do need to incorporate a little thing about the grant agencies.
Yeah.
So we'll have to add that to it. I think, that's just a really good idea to do.
Yeah, I think if we want other grants, we probably
Yeah,
should
Right, exactly.
acknowledge.
Yeah. But that's on my
All
to-do
right.
list after my family leaves.
And I talked to the Merrill family, and they are amenable to having a sign up, and they thought that probably, putting it on somewhere near the store there makes sense, and they suggested the Merrill Hill Conservation Area, which I
That's
thought
good.
was
Yeah.
pretty good. And it would just, won't be a fancy sign like, the other ones that we're doing, but just like something like the trail sign in the Musquash or something like that we
Yeah.
could put up there.
Well, that's a nice segue into, are you Mike? Oh, you're Mike, okay. You can come to sit in the throne seat if you like. Mike makes signs with routers in wood. And, our entry sign into the Musquash is, you can put your fingernail right through it.
Probably not.
Have you seen that? You know
I
what?
have not seen it, actually.
Oh.
I don't, well, I've been to the Musquash, but I'm
Oh,
not gonna remember
'cause-
what the sign looks like. I won't.
I would describe it as very huge. So I don't know if it's too big for whatever your equipment.
I can make a up to 4x8 sign.
Do you think it's bigger than 4x8? It's probably
It's-
4x8.
It's
It's-
wider than 8.
Yeah.
It's not higher than 4.
Is it just got text on it? I mean, is it
Yes.
centered or
It's
is
just,
it?
it's just text. It's on a very thick board. It was probably 2 or 3 inches thick originally, but.
You see them all the time, like, if you're going up Kangamangas.
Oh, yeah, just the big brown signs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'd have to see it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you, you know. But, you know, originally I contacted you over trail signs.
Yeah.
But if it's anything I can make, you know, we can get together some pictures and, you know, fonts and what size stuff you like.
Right, and as far as, we'd probably have to do like a little inventory on some of the trail signs, because like I know there's one for the landing, but it's kind of tipping over, and I think the post has lost its strength more than the sign itself, but, you know, is that, I mean, my first thought was you know, that main sign for the musquash, but are there other signs that we need made, you know, with a router?
Yeah.
Why don't one of you send me some pictures and some sizes? And I
It
can
would
make a
be
sample.
nice to have a consistent sign style
Right,
for all of our conservation areas. And you could, you know, like, we've got the interpretive sign or the sign I got from Elchip, but, you know, that could go in
the kiosk.
ideally in a kiosk with a routed name of the, you know, Lithia Spring Conservation Area, or what, you know.
Do we have
Merrill.
one like that for Kendall Pond? Is there a router sign on that kiosk?
I don't think so.
Because I can't even remember.
It's just a conglomerate of information.
It may, some of the larger kiosks, like Kendall, the one at Hickory Hill has some routed text on the bottom plank,
Okay,
but it's been covered with signs forever. So you really can't see it. The one at Kendall Pond may have that also, but there's just, it's on maybe a 4x4 and it's just routed in the edge.
Isn't that it?
But, you know, Mike, if you had you've done this before, obviously, like if you had a picture of another sign that, you know, would be appropriate,
Mhm.
that we just say, yeah, that's the style we want, that would be helpful, I think.
Yeah, send me pictures of a couple signs around town.
all right, I
Try
can
and
do
find a
that.
font that works for you. I'll make a scaled-down version. And if it's, you know, finally get a style you agree upon, we can make up a few.
Good, good.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Okay, and the big sign for Musquash, is that like, you know, 4 feet wide? What's that? What size is that? Anybody know?
It's more than 4 feet wide.
It's probably 8 feet wide and maybe,
It's, you know,
2.5,
boards going
3 feet high.
lengthwise.
Is it one solid piece of wood up? Okay, so getting the piece of wood would be an issue, yeah.
well, I mean, that's what's there now.
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be, right? I mean, you could use
Yeah,
8-inch or what you saw.
that one's accessible. It's right at the end, it's right in the dead end of Hickory Hill Road. So
Okay,
you can get a truck or a car right up to it.
all right.
Some of the kiosks and stuff are
In deep.
not deep, but up to a couple hundred yards.
You'd be
Yeah.
hauling it by hand.
Yeah,
But they're a whole lot smaller than the
Yeah.
Hickory Hill
one in
one.
Hickory Hill is big.
Yeah, that's
but it's
our,
right- it's
our
right
only
next to the
mammoth
road.
one.
All right, I'll take a drive out and check out
Oh, okay.
how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I could imagine the sign like that at,
Lithia,
well, yeah, certainly there, but also in the 2 other main entrances to the Musquash.
right. Tanager and, I think of the name of that street.
Folker.
Boucher. Thank you. Oh, my
I was
goodness.
still working on it.
Yeah,
Those both now have small kiosks.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
4x4, if that, maybe smaller.
Which is really adequate for most
Yeah.
of what we need.
Yeah, it was mostly to put it's a place to put a map and a little bit of a roof over it to keep the rain off.
Some rules.
But the sign, the Musquash sign, the kiosk is 100 yards up in. The sign is just a sign.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds easy. And you guys use oak on these things, or?
We
pine?
don't
What do you-
know.
What are you using? What are you
Anything,
using currently, or just whatever you have?
They've
some of
been
them-
there
oh,
so
some
long
of
that
them
we
really-
don't know.
Nobody knows, okay.
Yeah.
One of
We
those
thought
neglected
teak would be nice.
things. Teak,
But only native teak.
I do have a sawmill, so I can make some wood that we have
Oh,
around. but-
Yeah,
So if, Marge, you gonna be the contact for that, or?
yeah, that's
Okay.
fine, yeah,
Well, send me some pictures, I'll take a ride around,
okay.
and I'll do all out on CAD and send you a picture of what, what I think it'll look like.
All right, terrific. Tgood.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Excellent.
We have fairy godmothers everywhere.
Yes.
Any other old business?
Okay.
Yep,
On the Musquash trails? So, like, I think it's New England Mountain Bike Association?
correct.
Usually, pretty much anything they do is quality work. So, I mean, you can see it from one of the trails that they did build
Yes.
off of Porcupine Ridge, some of the overpasses.
Oh, yeah,
and-
that went amazing.
Right, so, in that case, but I was also wondering too, because I've been in there quite a bit, and it seems like a lot of the bridges are falling apart. Like, I rebuilt one myself on Betty Mac Trail. I brought in boards, replaced them.
Oh, thank you.
But it seems like nothing's been done since, so this was probably,
We
year or two.
haven't really been able to do anything. We used to have an active group that
Yeah.
was in there, and that was headed by Mike Considine, who was on our,
the chutes
on
and
the board.
ladders, right.
right,
Yeah,
but he passed away, and we really lost connection with that group when that happened.
Okay.
So the mountain bikers have kind of stepped up and
Right.
replaced them, which we super appreciate.
So like I said, like I bike over at Udicky Farm in Nashua, they pretty much,
Yeah.
like I said, again, amazing work they do. I was also wondering though, do you guys have the Boy Scout troop? So when I grew up, I was in Boy Scouts. Anybody doing an Eagle project
Yeah.
to rebuild the bridges in there, that would be,
We've asked, and what we've been told is, there's no Eagle Scouts ready to do projects right now. They're about a year out.
Okay.
But there's a couple coming up through the
right.
ranks that,
so even if it doesn't get done this year, I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely, tell them, yeah, you can rebuild.
and we also can get help from Londonderry Trailways.
Okay,
We're getting them to help us design a trail for the Lithia Springs property that we just acquired. But you're 100% right, the things in the Musquash need help.
okay. So I was also wondering, I grew up in Woburn, so we had the Horn Pond area. Every year, they would have Horn Pond Day, where the residents would come in, volunteers did help build or just clean, or any idea of maybe doing something like that?
We've
I mean,
randomly done it
I know
in
Earth
the
Day's kind of early,
past,
but,
But it's random. It's very random.
yeah,
And we do have a Winterfield Day.
right, but that's more just
It's not a
trekking
work
into the
day,
fire
no,
pit. and-
no.
Right.
Yeah, which you can't even get to right now, because
Oh, it's flooded?
landing trail,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the good things about Londonderry Trailways. They have a huge volunteer corps, and if we can, partner with them for some projects, they usually are really good about getting the volunteers. So I guess it would be a matter of creating a wish list of things that we need.
Right.
Which, if you're out there and you can identify
Some of the-
spots that are, in need of help, just if you can email me.
Okay.
And just for record, because I want to not make the staff unhappy, can you just say your name and address?
Dan Marr, 7 Imperial Drive.
Okay, thank you.
So,
It's
yeah,
for
so
the
the
minutes.
Musquash is pretty much right in my well,
Yeah.
not backyard, but close enough that I can get there on my bike and.
Yeah,
so-
super.
But, yeah, I could take photos of some of the bridges that I think need
Even better,
the
yeah.
repair the most and send them off to you, sure.
Perfect,
Okay.
great.
Awesome, thank you.
Another fairy godmother.
Or godfather.
We depend on them.
And I'm a Woburn resident, I'm pretty surprised.
Yeah, I've been here for 25 years though.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's stayed.
so you're a keeper. Okay, any more old business? New business where we talked about the sign.
And what about the sign on, right behind us here, on the apple orchard?
I think that's in Malaguti's court right now. That, I dropped that off in planning in November.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably gonna take a push.
You think? Yeah.
You want me to try to see if I can throw a dart that way?
Maybe, because I've got some other things that we're trying to, Trailways and I were going to meet with him about the Adams Pond Trail, and that what we asked a month ago to meet with them and still haven't heard. So I'm hoping now the elections are over and you'd think things have calmed down.
So Ron, should you find your way to his office,
Okay.
what we're talking about, that we're trying to find a, we have 3 projects now that have been completed, but we haven't recognized. The apple orchard, Mac's
Yep.
orchard here,
Town
the
council.
Lithia Spring project, and the donation of the Merrill, or the purchase of the Merrill
Yep.
Conservation easement, adding to theirs. And, what we'd like to do is organize an event, bring in the VIPs and, just recognize all those projects, recognize the state agencies that funded them. But we are trying to have a sign at each place so that we gather, here it is, there's something to show.
Yep.
So that's really what we're trying to, and it was, Mike suggested that we do something also specifically for the Merrills.
Absolutely.
So, we're trying to respond to that. So we need his help in getting the sign installed here on the Mac Orchard. I think that's probably the chief thing. Am I right, Marge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because supposedly staff said they were able to install it. We just, I
Right,
don't know if we
right.
settled on where it's going to be.
And I do have a promise from engineering to go down and take a look at the parking area for Lithia Spring too. So, and I haven't heard from him yet.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
thanks, Mike.
Absolutely.
Just one of our favorite topics, Stantec. And I just got another bill saying that it's from June that we haven't paid. So I asked Justin to give me a list, if he could, of all the Stantec bills we paid up till now. And it came 5 minutes before I left for here, so I haven't looked at it. But they're making me crazy, because they keep saying, oh, this bill wasn't paid. And
Well, I can double check my records too.
well, let me look at what he sent. And then to add to the aggravation, Fish and Game has given us a really hard time and really making very high demands of what they want us to do for that entrance into the parking area. They're insisting that we have speed bumps, and they want us to wait till October and do it during frozen ground season, so that they're sure we're gonna run over turtles on that dirt road. And I'm not, it seems extreme because that's been used by Eversource for a long time. And never did anyone blink an eye about speed bumps. So at least we got them off. They're not requiring the box culvert because they realized that we'd have to build up the road, which would be a much higher impact than if we just did a culvert.
All right.
So I know that engineering, John,
Yep, John
And-
Carter.
Mike from Stantec are kind of working with Fish and Game, but it just, my own personal opinion, it seems like they're kind of lax on what's happening at the airport, but really punching it to us here on this one. But that's just my opinion. Ray, did you have anything to say before I get into my rant?
Well, since I'm here, I got here a little late, but Ray Breslin, 3 Gary Drive. Thank you for what you're doing. Oh, somebody said they were from Woburn. I worked in Woburn. Does that count? But You know what my thing is about water, stormwater runoff, all of this, and you folks are looking at the impact of all of that. I would like to ask whether the presenter, in regards to this Burton governmental, has that been approved by planning?
Not yet. That's.
Okay, so
this is
they
the
came
pro-
here first,
Correct.
and then they're going to move on from there.
Right. He said his application is due on Friday, so it has to be in planning on Friday.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
after that, then it'll probably
Yeah.
show up.
I mean, you probably don't even get into, like, what are they going to be doing there? What are they going to be storing there? Governmental.
Well,
I would be concerned with that, but then again, maybe this is the wrong
well,
place to bring it up.
we understand that it's basically top secret.
Well,
It's,
I'd be concerned with that after what happened over in Merrimack. Okay? You're aware of what happened over there, right?
you mean Saint Gobain?
No. There's a company in Merrimack that makes military equipment, and a bunch of the Palestinians showed up and blocked the entranceway.
I didn't know that.
Elbrit.
Huh?
Elbrit?
Which apparently is a Jewish company, you know, and,
Yeah, they're not going to be making anything at this place.
well, they're going to be bringing stuff
It's
in and
storage.
moving it out, and probably the wrong place to bring this up. Okay. But, you know, my concern is, once again, I see a lot of green. It seems like there was a lot of, potentially, wetland impact there.
Some, yeah.
Elevation. Is there a big elevation change?
No.
No? Is that all flatland?
It's like maybe 8 feet across the property.
If that,
Yeah.
low in the center, which is why the wet's there.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a hazard there at all, I suspect it's, you know, bringing in drugs, contraband drugs for analysis.
Oh.
That is, you know, I suppose a risk of spilling and contaminating, but they have to, you know, they have chain of custody rules, and they have to be so careful and precise that I think in the hands of that federal agency, I would be less worried about them than I would be a commercial enterprise that's, you know, trying to make money.
Yeah. I understand.
The other thing that's gonna be there is, you know, a huge amount of routers, servers, storing, you know, fingerprints. But again, they're not really a threat to groundwater, they're gonna be sucking up a lot of electricity, I'm afraid, but, you know, we're working on that at the utility committee, as you know.
Yeah, we're looking at stuff like that, yeah. What Mr. Harrington brought up in regards to whether there was any governmental agencies involved, Army Corps of Engineers, I would think anything it's going to be a government operation, all of those people would be involved. But a lot of things to think about. You know me. I'm about the
Always
protection of fresh water.
Always thinking about it, right?
Well, you know, and I think we all have a good opportunity to pay attention and speak out about some of these things after we do our homework, when we know what we're talking about. And that's kind of what we're in the process of doing. Just one other thing, and that is, I keep on going back to the same thing, and I'm not here to lecture anybody, but the town needs a plan. It's been brought up by the town manager. We have a master plan. He's brought it up that it needs to be opened up, and some of us are looking at that. I think we all need to look at that, and I think we all need to have input and make sure that the town has a plan moving forward. Not 1 year, not even 10 years, maybe 20 years into the future. Extremely important. I think I've said enough. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank
Oh,
you.
just one other thing. You were talking about the signs.
Yeah.
I went over and showed to Ron. I was at a farm up in Kentucky with my 4-year-old great-grandson, because he likes to go to farms, and so do I. And they had a really nice sign at the entrance. I would like to share it with you.
Did you take a picture?
I did. Can I show you?
Please.
I gotta turn my phone back on.
Just send it to, Mike, if
Mr.
he
Hannah
sends
put
that
it
to
on,
you,
I
can you
think.
put it up?
Picture? Not right
Yeah,
now. I don't-
just show us.
Huh?
You,
I'll show it.
because you can always email it to me later, and then I can share it too.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, it's gonna wake up there. You got it. Oh, there we go.
You want to borrow mine?
Mine don't work. That's my
Go
problem.
on, help me out.
Yep. You want to do it after, Ray, or you want to do it now? Go into your photos. Yeah, there's your photos, and then
Yeah,
just hit on the photo. I didn't know where it was.
that was my birthday party. Oh,
You just showed it to me.
the heck is it? Here, you find it.
Right. You want to show them after, Ray?
Huh?
Was it recent? Was it your
Yeah.
last photo or so?
Yeah, just like last week. And what you were discussing, this kind of sounds like the same idea. About
we're-
4 foot wide, a little roof
Wooden-
on it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I don't see it, Ray. I don't know who it's mean, Ray. I'll find a few,
thought it
Ray.
was gonna help you.
Well, I don't know where it is, Ray. I don't know your phone. That's the end of your photos.
Email it to Marge.
Yeah, email it to us.
Just email it, we'll look at
We'll
it.
look at it.
Just email it to Marge, and then she'll send it out to everybody.
Yeah,
'Cause we're not gonna do anything
Or
about it.
text me, whatever.
Yeah.
thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you.
I believe we have a problem with the system regarding review of applications such as design review, wetland permits, conditional use permits. Recall a couple meetings ago, we had the High Bay warehouse, and they were looking for a conditional use permit, and we all were kind of like confused why they were asking for this, if they were getting a wetland permit, and, you know, wetland would have negated the whole thing. And then afterwards, I realized, wait a minute, how are they getting a wetland permit when we've never seen it? And so I asked Mike to look it up, and that wetland permit was dropped off at the town clerk on November 20th. And I looked through all my emails, I've looked through all of our agendas and minutes, we never reviewed that wetland permit. It never went, we never got it.
Never made it to us.
Never made it to us. And just today, we get this wetland permit that was received by the town clerk on March 6th. We have 20 days to review it. That's today at 5 o'clock. So we lost our opportunity to comment to DES on this wetland permit because we didn't receive it. And then last week at the ZBA meeting, a case came up for a variance to the, what's it called?
Buffer
the
ordinance. Wetland
Conservation easement, conservation
Buffer.
overlay district buffer. So it came up as an application for a a variance, and again, we weren't notified, we didn't see it first, and when I look it up in the policy, it says, the planning board shall refer the application to the Conservation Commission for review and comment prior to public hearing. So that kind of got dropped, and luckily, the ZBA was a little confused, and they chose to continue it until they got the right answer. But unfortunately, you know how things go from bad to worse. Kelly wasn't at that meeting, so Mike Malaguti was covering for her, but he suggested that the ZBA go ahead and process the variance, that the Conscom could review it afterwards. And I don't think you can undo a variance once it's approved.
Well, if it's illegally buried, I think we should be able to.
It just,
Unless they get granted the variance subject to Conservation Commission review.
It might have.
I'm feeling like there's a lot of balls being dropped, and maybe there should be some sort of procedure to goof-proof this process,
Right.
some checklist or something, because for us, you know, I don't know how many other wetland permits we haven't seen. You know, I don't know. And
Mike, can you describe for us how does the paper flow in planning?
So Alicia will get anything that's submitted, and she'll give them to me. So maybe this is something that I've been messing up. I've been bringing them to you as like as their, you know, the projects come up on the agenda, like I just did today. I've had that one. So maybe I've misunderstood when I'm supposed to be giving you these things. I've got a couple more on my desk.
oh, we're supposed to get them right away because we only have 20 days to comment.
Okay.
And if we don't meet within that 20 days,
Yeah.
I can contact DES and say, hey, we're not meeting in 20 days, could we please have an extension?
Okay.
But if I don't do that, then we lose our opportunity to
Gotcha.
comment.
So, okay, maybe I've been misunderstanding what I'm supposed to be doing with those.
Okay. So the town clerk's office brings it up to you guys in planning?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're getting it timely from the clerk.
Yes. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so we just gotta make sure that
Yeah.
when you get it, we get it.
Yes. So I guess how should I, because I only have physical copies, I think. How should
Yeah.
I
You
get
should
them?
have, there should be 5 copies, and they are assigned to go to certain people, and we are
Right.
assigned one of them.
Right, but he gets this. I can't send this out to everybody.
Oh, right, no.
We don't get a
we don't
digital
expect-
copy.
We don't expect it.
But
no.
at least,
If you get it to Marge, you call Marge and tell her it's here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back in the day before we did a lot of electronic things, that's what happened.
yeah, I would just stop by and pick it up.
Gotcha.
At least to know that I have it when it's due, and
And
then
you
I
can
can.
you can take a quick look
All I
at
have
it.
to do is email DES and say, we need more time.
Okay.
And then just schedule it, whoever it is, to come to the next meeting.
Right. Okay.
Because sometimes they can't come to the next, you know, it has to be the
Right.
following one. But
Okay.
if I know that, then I can contact DES. So if I got the application and maybe you have at least contacted the applicant to say, when can you come?
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 things is all I need.
Gotcha. Okay.
Aren't applicants required to give the clerk, the town, whoever, a soft copy of all their paperwork?
Like, you mean digital?
Well, yeah, any of these, like that huge
Well, they're
pile
here.
right there.
We do get 'em
Doesn't
eventually.
that have to also come, like 5 paper copies and a soft copy?
Of like of that, I don't think we get digital copies of that.
Well, how do you get it for us to look at?
You make
I
'em?
just give
No,
you
You scan
the
them?
applicant fills it all out and brings it into
No, but how
the town clerk, and
No,
the
but
town
I'm
clerk.
saying, how do we get this?
Right.
Oh,
this
that one there.
technology?
Okay.
I mean, we're looking at
You
it
just scan it?
at town hall, in the
I
office?
haven't scanned them. I just have the hard copies. So I
Well,
Just
what-
some,
Yeah,
well, somebody
they're
must.
talking now about the site plan, not the
Oh, the
dredge
site
and
plan?
fill. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
well,
Yeah,
that's
the
true.
materials,
That's
the
true.
folder that you create.
But some
called
of these-
yeah.
materials.
So I have
Some of these
digital.
plans have the dredge and fill in here.
Do you create those soft copies, those digital copies files?
I
Or
So
do
I
you-
don't make the actual plans, right? I just put them in the drive for you guys to look at.
Right, but.
How do they get to
In
you?
what form do they
So-
come to you?
So they come to me, they email me, or they just give them to me on like a flash drive or a
Okay,
CD
so
or
you do
something.
get digital.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an instant turnaround, should be.
But I don't think the wetland permits are coming in digital.
The wetlands are not.
Yeah, definitely.
So then what do you do with those?
I guess I'll just have to give you
A
guys
hard copy.
the hard
Well,
copy that we
You're
get.
supposed to. That's,
Yeah,
the-
but like tonight, we just saw
Right.
a wetlands application in the digital file.
No, you didn't.
no,
You
didn't
saw,
see on the- you
you
didn't
saw a
see-
site plan, but it's not
Oh, that's what it's
specifically,
checked.
Yeah,
for the
I was getting
second, right.
confused about that too.
yeah.
But
Which,
they
you
refer
know,
a
wouldn't it be
lot.
good if they came digital? I mean,
It'll come,
in the
but,
21st century,
And somebody has to print them out,
right?
oh, yeah.
right?
You'd think,
Yeah, but the statute says the
Right.
5 paper copies have to come to the town clerk, and the town clerk has to stamp each one of the 5 when they receive it. You start talking a digital copy, how do they stamp it? You
Was
know?
this RSA written?
Well, yeah, there's
It
that.
was a few years ago.
but, I mean, practically speaking, that's how we
Yeah.
Yeah,
operate, is
Yeah.
digitally. It would be sweet if we could get that.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I could get it out to everybody before the meeting, we'd have time to look at it and come up with our questions. But,
A topic for
well, it
another
works
day.
for most stuff. It works for
Right.
site plans,
we just have to wait till they do their presentation,
CUPs.
but,
Okay. So I'll get that to you like as I get those like dredge and fills.
yeah.
and- Okay.
Because I can just come and pick them up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
That's
sweet.
what I did.
I mean, when in doubt, call her in. If you see something that's coming across and it says, the commission ought to have an interest in this, you may or may not be right, but, let Marge have the benefit of the doubt and, advise on that.
Yeah.
We just need to ring that alarm bell.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool, thanks. And then, just as an FYI, tomorrow at the planning board, both the Gilcrest development, 35 Gilcrest, and the Village on Technology Hill are being reviewed. So anybody who wants to see how that goes or comment, that would be the day to do it. I think that's all I have. If anybody has new business.
Still in the Musquash, one of the things we're gonna have to do with those new trails at some point is put some sort of signage on
Well, that and blazing,
them. Yeah,
you know,
I mean, the easy signage for the metal ones that you were getting made, that we just
Yep.
put up somewhere.
I'll have to order some more of those. I
The
think
more
I only have a
complete-
couple left.
The nicer ones, I don't remember now who did them all, but the 4x4 posts that have the little map segment
Yep,
attached to it, and those map segments will have to be updated for the ones that are near the new trails.
right. Who's the sign company that's local? His name, Young,
Steve Young's
Steve Young,
code?
Image something.
Imageability.
Imageability. He made those.
Okay.
And I still have maybe 3 of those posts in my barn, just waiting for signs.
And I think the last time we updated those, that was an Eagle Scout or something.
Yeah, but we're fresh out of Eagle Scouts at this point,
Yeah.
but
So that's a new junction number too, right?
probably, there'd probably be more than one junction.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and then if I can get the files from the bikers to Mike, he can add it to the map. Because they sent me, they obviously have an app that they use to track that, because they sent me a map of the trail that they put in. Or the day that they flagged it.
Yeah, I think the trail between Landing and Overlook is already on the map file. I don't remember if it was given a name.
Oh, that little one, Moose Tracks or something?
Yeah, it's not marked. It's there. I think it's on our map,
Okay, yeah, I think we called that one Moose Tracks.
but it doesn't have numbers associated with the ends or anything. And obviously the new one up on top of the hill, there's nothing on that.
No. Yeah, so that'll be a spring project. Once we,
And I'm not gonna need maps soon, but
Okay.
I'll probably need them by the fall.
yeah, and I have a stack about this big,
Okay.
so. We'll have fun with that. But yeah, we'll get some signage. Because the ones that look like street signs, I can whip those up in no time.
Yeah, those are easy to put up as long as there's a convenient tree.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have notes and it just reminded me, crossed my mind, we're down 3 people. And I was trying to think of a way that we could advertise, but specific skills included, like, somebody who used to work for Fish and Game or work for Forest Society, or, that had some sort of background to put out a wish list along with our job description, on Facebook, or, do you know somebody from these places who lives in Londonderry that we might be able to speak with and, say, hey, interested in being on the conscom? Because it would be nice to have some next generation
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
to fill our shoes.
I'm just saying, I turned 77 a few days ago.
I hear
I'm
you,
chasing
I hear
I'm
you.
chasing you, Mike.
Because even, I was on a Zoom call, and the chairman of the planning board from Manchester, I don't think he's 40. He's a young guy. And while he was talking, he was taking questions. I said, how do you get young people to join the board? And he made a suggestion, just reaching out to, skill sets that you want. But just
Was there,
think about that. and
yeah, is there anything that precludes us from writing, we're looking for members, and this is the kind of people we're looking for, outdoorsy types, people that are,
Yeah, but even
had some experience with,
grant writing, or,
Yeah, that- yeah.
easements, or, reading plans even would be a skill that
and who
we
are,
take.
and, well, actually, what I was thinking, and I forgot to say it, is we'd like to invite people to come to the Conservation Commission and see what we do. That's, I
Yeah.
think, a way to, not necessarily say we're looking for new members to do just exactly that, but to, and that's what I've always said, people really, really need to come to the meeting before they get appointed to the.
Exactly.
They should not just be plucked out of thin air and put on this board, because they need to have a sense of what's going on. And every time, and we used to have, for Ron's information, we didn't put anyone that was new into a full-time position. And they always had to come on as an alternate, so that way, if they're scheduled, if they were, I don't really want to go tonight, whatever, then, then they found out that they really didn't want to come at all. And so that works out. And we were also in a staggered position for those alternates to move into a full position. And we don't do that now at all, and I find it confusing. I lobbied against it many years ago, and I lost. Anyway, it's just something to think about.
Yeah, because it would be good to,
What about, that we have that Conservation Matters occasional series that we run.
oh, right,
Londonderry Times.
Yeah.
Do a column. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't do that.
right? Maybe I'll work on that. That's a good idea.
Conservation Commission is looking for a few good members.
You want to take a stab at it, and then I'll help you, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because we could repost it on our Facebook page,
Yeah, oh yeah, everything, just
And
copy and paste.
share it out, right?
Yeah, right.
That's an awesome idea. Cool.
But I-
Min-
And we, so,
David?
no.
Oh, Mike?
No, Tiffany
Oh,
is the only one that's, we're down 3?
off,
Off 3?
okay, maybe only,
2.
why do I think we're
Well,
down all
7
three?
members and then 3 alternates, right? Is that right?
Yeah, okay, so we're down 2.
Yeah, I'm an alternate.
Mike,
don't
Mike, you're
forget.
the only alternate.
I know, but there's
Right?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
that's
5,
problem.
6, 7. Okay,
So
so
then we
we're
are
only
down.
down 2. You're right.
No, but I said 7 and 3. Oh,
7,
and 3 is 10.
right.
So how many?
So we are down 3.
What?
We are down 3.
Yeah, we are down 3.
Are we?
But I don't know who it was that we lost with it.
We have 1,
We've got 7
2,
here tonight,
3,
plus Tiffany is 8.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
with that, Tiffany being 8, okay, yeah, so we're
I'm
only
not,
down 2.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not counting, she's there in spirit, but I didn't count her body. Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
down 2.
so, yeah.
It's
at least
still,
that.
it would be great to have a full membership.
I know, we used to have too many apply, now we don't have enough. Because we've been down for over a year, right? Maybe even 2. Time flies.
Did the member that didn't come ever resign?
No, I emailed him, and as a matter of fact, I just emailed Kirsten today to ask what the status was, because they were gonna look into it, but he still shows up on the list, so eventually we'll get that thing straightened out.
Minutes.
If there's no other new business or anything anybody wants, we can just do minutes.
It's wrong every single time. Maybe I should go back there without, no, that's not it.
I don't know, I just closed it and up the,
Material.
just minimize and see if the agenda's behind you.
This is it.
Oh,
So the minutes now are
No, that's the
generated by
minutes.
someone who listens to a recording, is that
yes.
the way it works?
Yeah, her name's Beth.
I did not see anything when I looked at it earlier today.
Oh, and looking at the minutes reminds me, the beaver guy is coming back Thursday or Friday to see if he can control some more beavers.
Do you want me to look at the Stantec bills and make a total? Oh, I mean, it's on our budget, but some of it's from last year, so it's not.
It
on our
actually
current
goes back
report.
to February of '22.
I believe it, okay. I'll take a look.
All right, and maybe that'll be good. I'll
But it might
compare
take me-
yours to,
Probably not tomorrow.
that's fine,
the
that's
next day,
absolutely
but
fine, because I'm not
definitely
sure
Friday.
I'll get to it tomorrow, because
Okay.
I'm on the road.
Okay.
Absent any comments, I'd move to accept the minutes of March 12th as presented.
Second, Deb?
Motion by David, second by Deb. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? So Jean and David abstain. Motion pass.
I'll move we adjourn.
Okay.
Second?
Motion by Jean, second by David. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Meeting adjourned. 9:04.